We live. We are live. I'm gonna roll this up and let the room pile in. This is what we're gonna read from this. Continue reading because I wanted some some entertainment. I wanted some entertainment, so I scrolled through TikTok and these motherfuckers on here arguing with motherfuckers that ain't even gonna listen. Peace, K Real. These motherfuckers arguing with people that ain't even gonna listen to them. But uh yeah um yeah, Josh Love is currently crazy. That shit ignorant. And then you can tell Josh is all about the clout because he's not interjecting and telling people to calm down. So he wants that shit to happen on his page. I can't be over there. It's a bunch of ignorance. It's a bunch of ignorance over there. But yeah, I'm just gonna let the room fill up a little bit. In about 3 minutes, I'm gonna just continue reading what I was reading earlier. Do me a favor, share the live. Share the live out. Let's get some more people in here. Have a dope, have a dope live like we had earlier. That live was beautiful earlier. So get some folks in here. I'm tired. I'm tired of being over there when the motherfuckers always arguing and shit. Appreciate it. What's up, Easy? Yeah, I have all three too. I started earlier. Really got out of this one. That's the one that we on right now. But yeah, I'm tired of the motherfuckers arguing for no reason. We've been arguing for 6 months. What? When you gonna get tired of arguing, yelling? Motherfuckers ain't gonna listen. If a motherfucker tell you they Apache and they don't claim Arabic heritage, they not the real people. Oh, you gonna brush my hair? Ouch! Brush your hair. Brush your pretty hair. But yeah, in about yeah, me too. That's why I stopped going over there. But in like 2 more minutes after I finish rolling up, we're gonna get into this. All right? No, no, no. I got my hair in a ponytail. You brush your hair. Let me see. So I'm cooking. I'm cooking right now. So I need some some entertainment. So I was scrolling through TikTok and these motherfuckers is arguing. So I decided to go love myself. Give us something to get off of that kind of energy, that brainwave. And see, the thing is, these motherfuckers know they're gonna argue, but still go over there. And then after they finish arguing and that live ends, they create their own. They create their own live and then talk about the shit that just happened. Man, we already listened to that shit for 3 hours. We don't need no other live talking about the same shit. Let's get on about on a better wave. But yeah, I'm with my daughter and I'm cooking, so y'all might hear me stop a couple of times. But we about to get up on in here, get up on these books. You know, some shit you don't really see much people doing. These motherfuckers just be talking. No books, no literature, no nothing. That shit is lame, Vita. That shit is definitely lame. But yeah, appreciate everybody showing up. This is my little episodes called Bass Got Books. Bass Got Books. But yeah, here we go. Like, share the live, tap the screen. But I read a little bit of this earlier, but I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna start back over. But it says the Anunnaki lands, and again, for anybody new, we are in this book. And the reason why I'm reading out of this book is because yesterday we was in this, and there's a lot of connecting the dots to do. So thanks for joining me, and we in here. Thanks for the follow, Nate. Thanks for the follow.
Hello.
Peace, Nate. Peace.
Someone this morning was telling me about the girl that came from behind the ice walls. and it seems like you would know a lot about it. I know it's as simple as getting a book, which I could do myself, but I see you got it. Who did she talk to, and when did this happen?
She didn't talk to no one. Her father, her father was one of the explorers. And when the research a lot of time finished, he stood over there and had a daughter. So the person who interviewed, so the person that wrote the book interviewed the lady, and she wanted to make sure that whoever interviewed her, whenever they wrote about it, that they wrote a well written, honest account. So most of this stuff that you hear in this book really comes from the lady that was born over there.
Uh, how'd she sneak out? How do we not meet millions of them? There's just
Um,
one. You know what I mean?
in the chapter beforehand, it talked about how these people right here, the Anunnaki, and another group of people called the custodians, were at a war with each other, and there are two of the strongest beings. So they had so much fight that it took their mind away from the other people that they had, like, blocked off, and people were able to escape while they were fighting because they're
Uh,
two of the strongest people.
and when did this happen? Them talking to her
I think it was the 60s.
in the 60s. Interesting. Can you show the cover again so I could screenshot it?
Yeah, I'll do you one better. I'll show you all three covers if you don't mind.
Cool. That's cool too. Thank you.
All right, that's one of them.
Okay.
This is another one, and then this is a book about the girl's dad. This is about William Morris.
Well, it's interesting stuff. It's interesting to see who believes what, because there's a lot of stuff out there, right? It's like, how do you pick one thing over the other?
At the end of the day, we honestly don't know. So it's not about picking one or another. It's about opening your mind to the possibilities of other things. Does that make sense?
I get, yeah, you do the research for yourself and make your own decision, and
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, we never know the truth. So just reading and opening up your mind and exploring is the best way to do. Because there's no way you can tell me this is true, but there's no way you can tell me this is false. You see what I'm saying? So it's in the middle. It's neutral. So I just like to read just to open my mind up to the possibilities that might exist.
yeah, I've um I've gotten heavy into the flat Earth versus globe debate, and I've tried to do a lot of experiments myself, and I try to keep it simple. Like, I try to stay out of the argument against NASA. I could care less about NASA. To tell you to tell you the truth, I don't like NASA because the government spending I think is wrong at this point in time. We shouldn't spend that much money on anything like that. But I've gotten into I hope to make a video soon. I've done the Cavendish experiment in my backyard, and I just need to set it up again. And I know that has nothing to do with what you're showing, but it ties into proving gravity and stuff. And it's like, I just think it's cool that all these different people want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, they hide a lot of things from us in public school. So, like I said, this could be a fallacy. This could be, truthful. We won't know. We don't know. We won't know. So, orange boxes, you can kick cocks, because I don't
Yeah,
care what you say. There's nothing you can prove to me that to make this false. But there's nothing you can do to make it prove true either. So, if
right.
you don't like the discussion, orange boxes, kick cocks. I could care less about you, honestly.
Yeah, one thing I'll never do is like, people might get loud with each other and the conversation might get heated, but I'll never like try to look down on someone trying to explain themselves. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going out of your way to explain yourself, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get my hand on those books too. I want to check that. And then you had a fourth book that was about aliens and stuff, right?
Yes, I sure did. I sure did. You pay attention. I like that. I'm gonna follow you. Yeah, Libra.
That
I modded you, Libra.
so all alien species revealed. So the whole time they were saying they were coming down in UFOs and stuff, that wasn't necessarily deep space. That like ties more into that map you have.
Um, they were coming over on spaceships, but not from above, but from beside. If that makes
The
sense.
side, yeah. Okay. It's one thing versus the other.
Yeah, if you research this thing, it's called the Van Allen radiation belt. As soon
Right.
as you leave this atmosphere, you go through about 30,000 miles of radiation. So there's no way to possibly leave this plane of existence. That's a scientific fact. The Van Allen radiation belt. So
Right.
anybody that ever said they went out of this planet, that's highly unlikely.
I think they're saying they found out about it after the moon landing and they realized what a chance they were taking. But
Mm,
that's what they say. That's such ancient history. You got to go not ancient, but history where you got
Rush,
to go by their video and stuff. I don't even want to argue that shit.
Russians and Americans just like each other, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So once America made it to the moon, why would it cause Russia to stop trying to go to the moon if we always trying to one up each other? That's because they signed a treaty to keep quiet. They never went out of space. If so, China would already did it because they like to one up the United States.
Right.
Afghanistan, Iraq would have already did it because they like to one up the United States. And Russia would have already did it because they like to one up the United States. And you mean to tell me after what 55 years, neither one of them hasn't did it again? Now comes the idea where you got to question: did these people really go to outer space? Because the people that hate them the most, who has the same amount of money, the same amount of knowledge, haven't went yet.
Well,
Makes you wonder.
there's different levels of difficulty. I can see where we're doing a lot more minor things and we gave up on doing that again.
Mm, I believe going to the moon and going out of space is a top priority. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe because the thing that the government wants is technology for weapons, regardless of who it comes from. Every time they see a being or anything like that, the first thing they come to agreement on is, "Yo, we share your information with us, and we allow you to live, or we allow you to stay on this realm. If not, you gotta go." And most places don't, most advanced beings don't give us the technology because they're scared because we haven't reached a sense of like vibration to where we can use this shit for good. So they're scared to give it to us because they don't want us to like harm ourselves or completely destroy, extinct ourselves. Which this book talks about other quote unquote alien races that done, made themselves extinct. You keep touching them damn dictionaries, I'm whipping your booty.
Mhm.
Okay?
What's your
This is
kid
what this book.
into? How old's your kid?
Oh, she's two.
Oh, she's two. You don't really have interest at two, huh?
What
Like,
you mean?
does she like Yoshi or something?
You said what?
Is she into like Yoshi or you know what I mean?
No, really, she has a broad imagination. She's into a lot of shit. And
Just everything.
what I like the most is like when I'm watching like football or something like that, she'll come over there. I'm a Chiefs fan, and she'll just say, "Go Chiefs!" Or if I'm
Oh
watching
man,
fishing videos, she'll say, "Oh, hey fishy," stuff like that. So,
I'm a Raiders fan. I grew up in LA going to Raiders games.
oh Lord, Nate, I'm gonna have to drop you. Well,
Nah,
I
don't
ain't
do
gotta drop
that.
you down because we done had that number for about 8 years, so I ain't worried
Yeah, I
about
know.
it.
That Monday night game was wild, dude. We almost beat you guys. the last
You,
one in the regular season. We
you, you
almost
ever
beat we almost beat a lot of teams.
you ever seen Fast and the Furious, the first one?
Yeah, I have.
And you know when Vin Diesel says it doesn't matter if you win by inch or a mile, winning is
Right.
winning.
No,
That's
yeah,
what I say to that. I almost beat y'all.
I get that. I get that.
But yeah, Nate, if you don't mind, I want to get to reading if you don't mind.
Yeah, do all that. Have a good one.
You can stay up here if you want to, so we can have some dialogue. But I just want to get to reading and stuff.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna sign out, but I'll be listening.
All right, appreciate it, Dave. I mean, appreciate it, Nate. Easy, you there, Ease?
Hey Bass, I'm right here. I just wanted to come up so you know that I was still here whenever you got settled.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm here. I'm with the read.
Yeah,
I'm going to
take your
continue to
time.
read right now.
I'm with you. Take your time.
But yeah, feel free to stay up here while I read. I don't mind.
Okay, but I got my book open too.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, if anybody can share this to Rashad Poet, David, and Thoth, if y'all can for me, because Thoth got these books too, and he got a lot of information that I would like to get on. But yeah, I'm gonna start chapter 4, the Anunnaki lands. What? It's a dog. It's a dog. Hush. The famous Anunnaki, another of the colonizing and parasitic races that is sickening in the worlds, manipulating and controlling the children of the children for years and years. Another of our enemies, a hostile and power hungry race. They are the creators of the pyramids and structures in all the worlds they visit. They are, in our opinion, the strongest race within this great dome, even above the custodians. The technology they use to attack other worlds is incredibly advanced. The weapons of destruction and facility they have to enter through the domes is also something notorious that characterizes them and frightens any race. The utilization of portals for transportation led this race to be one step ahead of others. In fact, it is known the story that they have defeated the custodians when between them there was a great conflict during the opportunity that we had in the known lands to be able to free ourselves. And they were also the ones who caused us to be defeated in the last known pact between the custodians and Anunnaki. And remember, when you hear they say us and my, this is the lady that was born over there. So whatever people she is from, this race is confused in several of the stories that are told in the known lands in a casual and often deliberate way. But we find in several stories and books of the known lands the Anunnaki as reptiloid or reptilian beings. But the reality is they are beings of every tall stature that can reach 5 meters. And I think Rashad researched that earlier. 5 meters is 16 feet. So a 16-foot tall being. They live in an arid zone with little vegetation, and although the waters of Horus seem to be parasitic beaches from far away, the reality is that they are deep waters, and in them live snake-like animals that can measure up to 55 meters long, and that do not like the visit of other beings from outside. And Rashad also researched 55 meters, and it comes up to right around 180 feet. So a 180 foot long, what it say, snake like animal, crazy. Their skin color is yellow greenish, although their leaders can have totally different tonality, but all of them have very dry, scaly skin, and their eyes are distinguished by being yellow, red, or black, and they have a particular iris that other beings also share that is characterized by a cleft, depression, or gap, and can be both uni and bilateral, generally in darker in color.
Right.
So they say that before we became this dark color, we used to be a greenish blackish color. So that could be just ancestors of ours, honestly.
They're describing to me. I have it highlighted in my book that it to me it sounds like a reptile. some sort, right?
But reptiles like sunlight or like a UV lamp, correct? They like that heat, right?
Yeah.
Out of human beings, who's the ones that like the heat and that can take that heat and from the sunlight?
Us.
Quote unquote black folks. White folks run from the sun. You see what I'm
But their
saying? That's why.
eyes, when they were talking about the shape, that's what reminded me of them,
See,
the
what I
reptiles.
was when it says depression or gap and can be both uni and bilateral. What exactly are they talking about? Uni and bilateral? Because it says characterized by cleft, depression, or gap, and can be both uni and bilateral. Generally dark. So like a mix of like also light and also dark at the same time, pretty much. But it says during the many civilizations in the known lands. Oh my bad, easy. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting for clarity.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know either. I was just going to see your reading. I don't know what it means, uni or bilaterally, generally dark in color. Like I said,
Yeah,
these
that's
books were written in Spanish, so the translation to English is kind of off.
word. Well, if it is kind of like you've seen people like that. I've even saw dogs like that have one darker eye, one blue one brown. Um,
Yeah, the Huskies, the Siberian Huskies is what they call them. They be having an orange eye and a blue eye. I've seen that plenty of times. Jackie, come on, put that down. Get aside. Get aside.
I'm gonna follow though.
All right. Appreciate it, Easy. Let me do my little promotion real quick before I start reading again. Appreciate everybody for joining me on Bass Got Books. We're just in this book right here on chapter 4, talking about the Anunnaki. It says, let me see, just that for y'all. It says during the many civilizations, the known lands, both the Anunnaki and custodians, usually the former, have been depicted in many forms with humanoid bodies and with different heads of animal types, reptiles, birds, and a myriad of them. Thus, confusing the true history of the human beings and conditioning the human mind throughout his life by these parasitic beings. They are beings that lack all empathy and are based solely on the oppression of other beings and the conquest, the thirst for power and control. In this, they are very they are very similar to the custodians, and that is why they have preferred to share that position than to kill each other. Although tension is always expected between these two races, which could be convenient for all other worlds that are under their power. Let me just zoom in real quick on the new map that we're gonna have. Crazy. You see Ruth, you see Isabella. And what's crazy is the place that I'm from, Puerto Rico, is actually called the land of Isabella. So that's why I'm really interested in this one. And you see Ruth the Moabites. Moors Moors say that they're descendants of Ruth. So it's gonna be a pretty good chapter right here. It says the original beings of these lands, also called Venusians or Venusians, and unlike those of Mars, they survived all colonization. But how? It is still not known for sure how these beings were able to make fun of the brutal colonization they suffered long before the custodians took the known lands. According to some legends within the giant race, the first humans thought to make contact with the original Venusians in order to form a block against the colonizers and thus learn from each other. This happened in the beginning, just before the custodians took the first humans by surprise, being colonized in the walled lands. It's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. There are peace Capri,
What up? What up?
peace stove.
Hey, yeah. Hey, the shit about the custodians too. Like you said, they be basically in competition with the Anunnakis, like who could control the most lands and who could colonize the most people. But like you was about to break it down into that this Venetian chapter. Just know that the Venus people ain't to be fucked with.
And have you ever heard that like they tried to say Nikola Tesla was a Venusian? You ever seen that?
Yeah, I heard that.
What?
And what's the other guy? They were saying before Tesla, the guy before Tesla, shit, I forget his name.
Something about Edison or some shit like that?
Nah, the dude, not Edison. Edison was the same time as Tesla. The dude who put the shit on the key on the kite, Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
They said he was saying he was
Yeah,
from out in the outer land. I forgot what name of the little place he was saying.
he
He was
wrote about them in one of his papers, saying that he wanted to, if anybody remembers, he was saying that he wanted to chop down a bunch of trees to make our lands look more appealing to Venus. Do you guys remember hearing that in
Who
any of
said that?
Ben's writing? Ben said that.
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to write this down. Hold on. I never heard
Ben
that.
Franklin is a strange
Yeah, when
dude.
I
If you
read
really
that,
start
I was
doing his,
like, what the hell?
yeah, you start reading
Wild.
the book about him. He man, he was a strange dude, and we wondering why he knew about electricity and all this stuff because he wasn't from here.
Peace, Dave. Peace, Dave. That's crazy. I never heard that shit. The only thing I've ever heard about Ben Franklin was that wasn't him. Ben Franklin is really Benjamin
Benjamin
Banneker.
Banneker, yeah, the same. The look, what they call that clock over there in England, Big Ben.
Big Ben. Yes, sir. And Benjamin Banneker is also the one who designed Washington, all those roads and shit like that. That was Benjamin Banneker's work.
Facts, the real Freemasons.
Hmm I gotta cut this meat up. Keep talking for me.
Oh yeah, shit. I literally broke down this same chapter about the Venetians. If you read further, it basically say well they couldn't even penetrate their little bubble. Like the Anunnakis or the custodians couldn't get inside their bubble, and they started like falling off before they even got there. But like
Yeah,
that's what I said. It's like man, the Venetians
but
got some kind of technology.
remember that guy that was doing that documentary about the underwater lakes, and he said he ran into this membrane and things bounced off of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the
The guy
other
under the
book,
ocean.
that I have, I forget the other one because I don't have it in front of me, but it's another Noskin Fundin book where they talk about a membrane. I made a video on it, that you have to push through. It's hard to get through, and they found in the book, it says they found like people's like bones and stuff in there that tried to get through it at one point.
Yeah, that's how the thing around Venus is. You got to be vibrating at a certain frequency to even cross that, and none of the Anunnakis and the custodians are vibrating at that frequency, so they can't even cross that.
Well, I don't know if they. So for when I read in this book, it said that the Anunnaki, they have really top of the line technologies. That's why they're able to like pierce through everybody's bubble because of their technology. Um, but I don't remember reading saying that they didn't have access to
Yeah,
Venus.
in this the page right here where it says it on the next page that's next to it. It talk
Okay, I
about how
got it open. Let me
yeah, it
see.
talk about how they went like basically they went to Venus trying to take over Venus and they didn't even make it there. They got caught on like the little wall. And they people start falling off sick and dying and stuff. But it's that's not the
Oh,
only place where it talk about that. It talk about another land too where it do that. Um, I can't remember. I don't have the book in front of me right now, but it's one of them other lands like Pleiades or one of them other places they can't go either because they not vibrating high enough. I think it's the ancestral lands,
Mm.
but it's in plain sight. Literally, we see aliens walking amongst us every day and be thinking these people is regular
It's
people, and they
it
not.
said that oh, he's on 20. Okay, yeah, I'm reading where it talks about. Okay, it says the Venusians are beings who base their technology purely and exclusively for spiritual development and
Hmm.
benefit on their path of ascending or transcending internally. They did not possess weapons of mass destruction for attack and defense. This, this the custodian saw as easily accessible once they penetrated. So they did go.
Look,
Their
it's
world
you see where it
environment.
say the surprise came when they set foot on the land of Venus, and a great
Mm-hmm.
storm hits the circle environment very suddenly. They did not take note of it at the time as though it was the weather there. But as the days passed away, they saw the storm. They saw the surface. The storm never ceased until the last custodian didn't cross the dome to the outside. So basically, it was like some kind of weird ass weather popped up as soon as they tried to cross the little ice wall in the Venus.
You know, I read this other book. It talks about Venus. You can't even see. People think that Venus, there's no life on Venus. It's because it's not supposed to be permissible, like perceivable to our eyes, but there is. So I'm going to relate that to what's going on in this chapter of this book. Um, but in that book that I'm referring to, it talks about Atlantis and Lemurian, and then a little bit about Venus.
You can read forward if you want to for us while I finish this rice real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what was I at? What was I at the bottom?
Outside of
Yeah,
the dorm, yeah,
I left off at, hold
across
on, I'll
the
tell you right now,
Oh, okay,
page
okay.
20, where it says
Yeah, I
these
read
are
all that.
theories.
I read all that.
Okay,
I read that bottom chapter. I
you
mean that bottom
you
paragraph too.
okay, so we over here then, right?
Yeah. No, go back to the bottom. I just want to read that last line. It say,
All
in
right.
fact, many trustees started revolts and didn't see the point. It's basically they had like revolts in Venus to try to get out of control of the Anunnakis and the custodians because they had to make deals with them to even be able to trade and leave their little bubble. So the Anunnaki and the custodians basically pirates. They run like out of the 178 worlds, they probably run 170 of them. They run most of the world. But let me get back to the chapter.
it's
I can't really see because they got
disgusting.
that little mental health awareness month shit. Let me see. Dying up there, things got pretty complicated. I can't really see because that thing in the way. It said many saw it as failure and others thought of returning at another time. But true to their history, they did not give in. And many custodians died on Venus. Even a very important leader is said to have fallen in those distant lands. The conquest of
Word.
Venus was custodians was a failure. See, they didn't even never make it to Venus. They failed.
But
And it said, in
can we?
fact, they did not fight against the Venetians who did not possess weapons. If they had them thinking it would be been a crushing defeat for them, when the story was in other circle environments, they tried to imitate it, but with disastrous results. Later, we will comment on that point. The technology that the Venetians had been developing was not overnight. It was years and years of progress, and those bunkers had everything: high-level subway connections. The custodians tried to block and even destroy the area with explosives and missiles. But for each attempt, many custodians died because the areas near the bunkers were so full of explosives and other technology that hindered even the approach. So the Venetians is not to be fucked with. They can't even get to them. They was literally at their ice wall and couldn't pass it.
That's crazy. And the custodians and the Anunnaki supposed to be one of the strongest. So for them not to be able to penetrate the Venetian or the Venusians, they motherfuckers got to be strong too.
Exactly. And they said they basically didn't
Did
didn't
you
have weapons at first. they just developed it, like just to defend themselves from them two groups.
What were you gonna say, Easy?
Oh no, I'm good.
Man, it's
All
all
right.
kind of it's all kind of little stories in this book about the different lands. I can't remember which land they talk about where it talk about these people that look blue and they tall and I'm like this the Avatar story. They talk about some blue people that's tall and they got all kind of exotic fruits and vegetables on their world.
But they were also saying that like the custodians and the Anunnaki, basically, if you do your best job at being puppeteered by them, that you'll be given access to those other lands, and to where you don't have to health, food, and another land and stuff like that. It talks about that in this book.
Now, does that make sense about like people that randomly, like celebrities that randomly commit unaliving, or the celebrities that go missing and shit like that? Now, does it make sense since there was a puppet at one time? Now they don't have no use for them. Now they sent them to the other land of human, the other human colony. See what I mean?
It's like a gift that it was like a deal they were promised. Like, if you mislead your people enough, you do what we need you to do for our narrative, then we'll make sure you have health, food, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Longer lives and all that.
And that's the thing. I'm glad you said that, Easy, because that's the thing about these other worlds is these people are living 100, 160, 200 years old. So imagine if you're 40 years old here and you done working here. Now you got another 150 years to go spend that fiat money that you got somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
It's wild.
And people be wondering why all these celebrities' deaths be mysterious.
They're not mysterious at all. Like, you can see what it is.
Sometimes when these quote unquote conspiracy theories come out, I often go back to the scripture where it said like there's only going to be 144,000 people that's going to make it. If you think about it, that number seems realistic because look how many blind dogs there is on TikTok alone. You see what I'm saying? So that number 144,
Yeah, that
144,000.
144 looking real
I don't.
realistic.
Yeah, I don't know what number it is, but I know if it's any number, it's small for sure. Because that's so true.
But it definitely makes sense because there's not a lot of us out here, you know.
But you want
I'm sorry, let me check up on the confidence. Yeah, I don't get the vibe that Tina Turner is
Okay.
dead. I thought Tina Turner was dead like 20, 30 years ago. That shit
wow.
crazy when she died like 5 days ago.
I know every memorial, like around every Memorial Day, a different celebrity passed away. And I'm pretty sure if
Oh
you
yeah.
check the gematria, check the gematria on Tina Turner and the day she died on and all that shit probably sync with the NBA game that was played around that time. Man, by the way, they how they had that fake script thing floating around on the internet.
Yep.
They threw that out there just to throw people off. The real
Yeah,
fake script is the Boston Celtics winning the championship this year.
yeah, coming back from 3-0 down. That
Yeah.
game last night was fucking. Let me not talk about that shit. That shit is
Hey,
You
crazy.
already know that was some bullshit.
you guys, it said on here, to go back, it said that the Venusians, I guess it says, we know because the Venusians themselves told us that in this meeting, besides pleading for peace in their lands, they would have asked for liberation of the humans, which was totally rejected. Hey, remember that book about that guy, Valiant Thor? I think he was said to be a Venusian. Remember? Do you guys
Yeah,
know about that?
Valiant Thor was a Venetian. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, did you guys read that book? Heard of the book Stranger at the Pentagon? Because it's about him.
Nah, but I know like about Valiant Thor. I was into videos and I was basically researching him like early 2010s. Like, but yeah, They did a show. What's that? American Horror Story on him too.
They thought they could, right? That was wild. But they made it a little weird too, though. It kind of like, I don't know, but
They showed the
they were,
fake moon landing on that show and all that.
yeah, that season was wild. But
Yeah, if
yeah,
anybody,
they
oh shit,
it said in
I'm
the
about
book
that.
like they were testing his garments. His garments were indestructible. They were like blowing it up. They were trying to do all types of stuff to his clothes.
I think
And
I think the real uh
Oh, dude,
one was Simeon Toko. That's the dude
oh,
they
you talking about the
killed that
guy
kept
that
chopping
was
them
but
up.
they said
that
his
was
garment
killing
was like
people?
some type of liquid gold or something that was just indestructible. And like when they thought they were telling him to like stay in one room, he was all over the place. Like they thought they could, he let them think that that they were in control, but he was all over the place.
And he was able to read their thoughts and some more shit.
Yeah.
Valiant Thor.
So when you know, like if you're being like that and you're trying to come to reason with somebody, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, even though you already know, it's kind of crazy.
Come on, let's walk in. Yeah, if anybody want to continue to read for me while I continue to make this rice, that'll be a blessing.
All right, let me see. Uh, I think we're going, okay, we're going into the lands of Draco. Okay, it says here, chapter 6, the lands of Draco. The Draco, or also known as the Edomines, are the inhabitants of the Draco lands, northwest of the known lands, crossing the lands of Venus. These beings that once visited our lands are known for their great technological advance in weapons for attack and defense, as well as great psychic development. Some of their beings can communicate telepathically using this technique to subdue any colonizing enemy or even to colonize other lands. The Edomines, by means of treaty, achieved a union with the custodians, but at the beginning this was not so. But the custodians attacked their lands when they were not in their most advanced stage, but on the contrary. The Draco lands lack islands, but two large continents are found with great vegetation. In fact, the most exotic plants of any outer circle environment within the Great Dome exist there. It is a great wall of ice. I'm sorry, its great wall of ice was never an impediment to be able to cross other domes and conquer some lands. These walls were left by the custodians when they decided to put an end to the total manipulation of their environment. Did they stop manipulating them? We really wonder. We think not. They started by lands outside the domes, like their nearby land Osiris. But then they moved their technology to lands of Anubis. Many of these beings stayed in the Paradise lands, but they used their many of the military bases for weapons of their development. What happened in the ancient battle between the Edomites and the Custodians? The Custodians finally won at the beginning since the Edomites, as we mentioned, had not achieved the progress they have today. But it was not easily, nor did they surrender, since they knew their land well and are experts in making large tunnels. The Custodians had to use advanced technology to finally achieve victory in those lands and leave their mark on the walls of ice surrounding the dome in the circle environment. The Draco lands were also visited by other races, such as Anunnaki and the inhabitants of nearby lands, such as the famous Greys, that inhabit the Orion lands. The links with these beings led to the fact that today both races live together in a true fraternity, both in Draco and Orion. The Edomites and the Greys can be found together. The age at which these beings can reach is approximately 192 years, compared to the years of the known Earths, while the custodians infected their atmosphere and their air they breathe at the time of their attack. As of today, they have no disease nor any war being waged, although they are spiteful beings, and it would not be strange if they were planning to colonize other other lands, or perhaps as a revenge towards the custodians, but this is all mere speculation. A great flood that still disconcerts its inhabitants was generated at the beginning. A strange wall surrounds its coast. Its technology that they are carrying out, it is said that it is used as radar, and that it could attack any enemy that wanted to cross them. The surveillance system of their land increased in the last time, product of fear that the great colonizers still have for what could be outside this great dome. It is possible that the custodians and the Anunnaki are interested in this type of wall to replace the ice walls they create. So, yeah, that was 25.
Thank you for that, Easy.
Yeah.
Let me go back. I want to show them the little the little map of who we just read about. Y'all see Osiris. Y'all see lands of Orion, Draco. We heard of all these people before.
Mm-hmm. Even
You know
even
what's
Adamine. Adamine is the dude. It's telling me Adamine is the dude that be preaching breatharianism. So I'm like, damn,
Hmm.
this is where he got his name from.
okay? But also though, check it. So, uh, when they start, what is the you know the names? Let me see. Where was the name? Shit. Okay, so you got like the Greys, the lands of Orion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all those are like alien species as well, right?
Facts. Yeah.
But they got hella rank over here though. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
A lot of them over here. This is like, all right, like, okay, you got airports. Like, okay, you got Chicago here, then you got Hartsfield, Atlanta. Hartsfield, Atlanta is like one of those airports where everybody got to go, no matter where you going. Let's say you live in Hawaii. I mean, yeah, you live in California, you flying to Hawaii. They'll take you way to Chicago or Atlanta just to catch another plane that's going to Hawaii. That's like the hub. This is like the hub. We're in the middle. We're in the middle center of the universe. So people come here. You also come here to train and learn how to live in other worlds. And this is basically like a training school where you learn morality, uh, spirituality, all kind of different shit. It's life lessons you got to learn here.
Well, that's for sure, because that's what's going on.
And when we talk about people, energy never dispersed or can be created, and you can't die. This what we talking about. You go to these other worlds. It's like, all right, Doctor Strange. That movie Doctor Strange broke that shit down perfectly, where it was showing those different dimensions. How it might be a cartoon world, and then there's another world where you look like Legos. And then
It's like
yeah,
all like when they talk about that Andromedans, Pegasus, all this is like played out in our like cartoons as
mm-hmm,
kids. What is the planet of Gemini? All of that. It it's a zodiac sign. There has to be like
mm-hmm,
connections with that.
And then you see where it says the age at which these beings can reach is approximately
192.
192 years old. So you know that Rockefeller that done had like 17 heart transplants and shit like that, and we ain't
yeah. I
seen them in a
always
while.
look, bro. I used to always be like, who the hell is giving this man hearts? Where's he getting all these extra hearts from? Like he just finding hearts laying around.
I think that's a cover. I think that's a cover up just for his life longevity. I don't really feel like
I feel like Queen Elizabeth was the same way. Like, how old was she? Like, bruh, she literally was
Oh, that
around my
is a
whole
whole
lifetime.
different story. That lady is a trip. That lady is a trip. But okay, another thing that's crazy is like a lot of these beings are like what is going on with their like they're scared to die, it seems like they're scared. I don't know, maybe are I know they were saying that are they were capping out, they were putting telomere caps on the lifespan of people and stuff like that, and it could also play a part in people getting that little poke jabby thing, you feel me, as
Mm-hmm.
far as like further manipulating and messing
Look,
with people's time.
and that ties into that movie. with Justin Timberlake out of time or ran out of time, running out of
In
time?
time, in time.
Oh
In time,
yeah,
yeah. Where basically
I
like only
remember
the rich
that.
people could live past a certain age.
Yep. And money was time. Money wasn't fiat.
Okay, but it definitely was. But who would be why like who would be so scared of that?
Well, like they said, the Anunnaki and custodians, we working for them. They're so powerful. You see what I'm saying? They have advanced weaponry that we never even fathom of. You see what I'm saying? So that could make us scared because a lot of people don't like to die anyways. That's what's
But
wrong.
that's
That's
what
why
I'm saying. The people that are obsessed with immortality, it's probably because they don't have anything going on after this.
exactly.
This is what I'm getting at when I say that.
Look,
Like, why
i.e.
you
The whole Dracula
to
concept.
where it's like I gotta cut your life down a little shorter so
Yeah,
so
I
I
need
can
your life
still
force. Yeah, I need your life force so I can
yeah
keep living. That's the whole Dracula Vlad the Impaler story.
weird.
They
And
put
you see what most of those people are that's doing
yeah.
that type of shit.
Uh, Look, and then we wonder, we like, these people can't stand in the sun. We telling you literally who they are. They can't stand in the sun. They want longer life. They eat raw meat. Who that sounding like, y'all?
Not me. Not you.
Sounding like vampires to me.
Hmm
And if you
and
pay
earlier in
attention,
the book,
look,
remember they said
remember
they
what's the
feed off
one
of
where they had
energy.
with the girl, the love story, Twilight?
Yeah.
Remember? I
Hmm
remember the vampire dude was a white T dude. His whole family was white T. Then the
Mhm.
wolves was Native Americans.
Mhm.
Symbolism. They you feel me? We know them the real Native Americans who them is, but you
The
feel me?
Siberians. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the shit deep. Them and they go by wolf people too. The Siberians, what we call the Siberians, the little Siberian dogs. Come on
The
now,
husky. Yeah.
the Huskies. That movie was dropping so many gems.
hmm But yeah, anybody want to read this chapter or me read it? It don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm still cooking, so
All right. Those you want it, or you want me to go ahead?
Go ahead. I was smoking this shit.
Okay. It says, okay, chapter 7, the land of Mars. The land of Mars, who inhabits or inhabited these lands that lie behind the ice, the walls of ice and the mountain walls. There lies this world crossing the second dome and
keep the dogs
traversing
out.
lands that few humans have never seen. Mara has a great incident in the known lands since in those lands several events related to humanity happened and still happen today. The immense circle environment and misnamed red planet harbored a great and diverse life within its dome. Native Martian civilization was reportedly totally annihilated by the colonizers. So why wasn't part of it? So why wasn't part of it left for possible further development or even some kind of manipulation by the colonizers themselves? Apparently, this race was firm in their convictions based on their morals and ethics, preferring to die and extinguish their race in battle rather than beg for freedoms and quotas under conditions that colonization would impose. That is heavy. Okay, so check it. Um, some cultures it's a great honor to
Watch out.
some cultures it's an honor to check out instead of being colonized or taking into civilization by other people. Um, I know that happened throughout history when they talk about when some people, the few people that were brought over from Africa, some of them jumped off of those boats, and hurt themselves. I know it was said that Cleopatra had uh, poisoned herself instead of uh, being taken into captivity as well. So apparently, I guess that's what they're saying some of the Martians did instead of, being overthrown. Okay, so
They were saying basically the Martians was instead of being enslaved, they would rather choose death.
yeah. Okay, so the Anunnaki at the end of their mission realized that not a single Martian was left standing. Since the last ones even committed suicide, they were surprised since they did not expect this to happen. In fact, it was the first colonization, and after this, they took precautions. The original Martian race was known in later studies. Wow, so they were scared. So then they took precautions after that because they were like, well, some of these people will wipe themselves out instead of, and then we don't have nobody to manipulate or take over. So, wow.
That's another reason why you know how they spread that myth. Oh, black people is a endangered species. They would never get rid of us. They need
Mm,
us more than we need them. They need us.
no, for
Facts.
sure. Um, so it said the original Martian race was known in later studies was an advanced race in its technology that prioritized the spiritual growth and welfare of their community. They had little military training and technology, so their defense was almost nil. The custodians soon took the great lands and grouped in the great centers, taking advantage of all the knowledge and the progress that was left there. Nowadays, the lands of Mars are simply experimental lands where several races coexist and generate wars between them with different reasons for almost eternal conflicts. Sounds like here. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Same stuff. The leaders of these lands are both Anunnaki and custodians. There is a community of humans, mostly made up of people who belong to small groups and earn their passage only by their hard work and betraying their own race and their homelands. Remember, I was saying that?
The sellout coons.
Right. The best known member who might this is where I was like
Mm-hmm.
just totally taken back.
Admiral Byrd.
Right. The best known member who might even be living in the human colony of the last humans, I am referring to the last reset, would be known as the well-known
Unknown
explorer
explorer.
Rear Admiral Byrd, Richard Admiral Byrd.
When I first read that, I'm like, hold on. I'm like, this happened in the 1940s. Dude will be like 150 years old. Then I read the next part. I'm like, okay, that explains it.
Hold on.
Okay.
But listen to it. It says the last person to have lived the last world during the last reset
Mm-hmm.
would be what you call it, right? Well, he died in the 40s or the 50s. So
Yeah.
was the last reset the Great Wars?
Yeah. The Great Wars. In this book, it talk about the Great
He
Wars.
says he's a member though. It said he's a member of the Anunnaki and the custodians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He got down with the Illuminati.
right. So I gotta send you guys. I'm gonna send both you guys that video I have talking about him. Um, it's on my other page though. Okay, so okay, who who knew how to be on the other side for a long time and to confess some truths before giving himself up completely. Some of the many stories that we have out there and that are written today to keep truth away from the Terra Infinita and the civilizations that live behind the ice barriers and the domes that separate them. In the lands of Mars also coexist the famous Greys and some minor draconian colony, or also known as the Edomites. Between the Greys, the human colony, there is a rivalry existing since almost the beginning of the transportation of the custodians and the humans there. The custodians and the Anunnaki monitor everything very well and do not miss any detail of them. What had begun in the clone lands today takes place in these lands. Possibly this transfer is due to the time difference that exists in that environment. Their time, as in many of the other circle environments or lands with different domes, within different domes, it is different from the land of Mars. For this reason, the passage to Mars of humans is always welcome, despite the dangers involved, since it is a one-way ticket to a long life, almost 500 years in comparison. That is wild.
Mm.
There are also other races, almost all moved by the custodians in their frantic conquest of their 178 circles or worlds, and many other races originating from different sectors were also moved there. The land of Mars are also considered as a large zoo where different behaviors, confrontations, and conflict resolutions are studies. That's whack. A huge
And
farm with exhaustive
that
monitoring and
tie
mass
into how they
surveillance.
would have human zoos over here.
That also sounds like the Garden of Eden. But
Yeah.
that's wild. So they'll just sit there and study the conflicts and let the shit play out. Like
Yeah,
you might as well
it's
be
an
investigating
experiment.
shit, you know?
Yeah, it's an experiment. And if you read
Yeah.
it's another chapter called The Land of the Clones. The Land of the Clones was Mars
The,
before Mars.
the next one on this one is 8. It's the lands of Neptune.
Yeah.
Y'all see the word Poseidon, Gilgamesh, Enkidu, Triton.
It
Y'all
says
see Poseidon?
the Nerida, Triton, and Poseidon, the name of their lands that shine in the dark atmosphere that surrounds their circle environment. The Neptunians have have had a hard time since their birth, not because they have not been able to adapt to their environment and survive in a climate where vegetation is not abundant, but because of sandstorms and the aridness and places this world can be really devastating. For that reason, most of the big cities were created on the shores of their most fertile lands, leaving a large portion uninhabited. Anyway, the Neptunians managed quite well to carry out colossal creations. There are buildings so tall that exceed twice the size of known lands. Silence is the faithful companion that will go with you wherever you go in this dark world, as its sun is also very different from those of vast majority and is totally opaque. Wow. So their sun is like see-through.
Yeah, they either got a black sun or a see-through, like you said.
Wow, okay. So throughout the time and with the great technological development that they knew how to carry out, nothing of the climate nor the darkness was a great obstacle for them. There are also large cities with very high constructions, many pyramids, since the Anunnakis were the ones who entered this world and took over their environment after a long time. Recall that the pyramids are key to the Anunnaki colonizations that first starts with friendly and supposed technology exchanges between beings. The Anunnaki can be really great swindlers and lie to their leaders to generate a close bond and then stick the cold dagger in the back. Overnight, the Neptunians were left with nothing, and the Anunnaki had planned everything from the beginning, and everything went as expected. It is said that this is one of the first lands where they penetrated and ended up colonizing. The natives of these lands could not cope with any technology like that, although we can assure that this was still in full development. But by the time the Neptunians had opened up a long spiritual and developmental path focused on real personal and spiritual improvement to cross the Great Dome after transcending matter. But it is not that they left the defense to chance, but they had developed a great military power that did not end up serving against the colonizers. Although they did get a big, great scare when they rebelled. In the beginning, the Neptunians accepted defeat, but as these beings were used for certain tasks within their own lands that obviously ended up directly benefiting the Anunnaki bosses, they rebelled against them, generating several pockets of fierce fighting. The Then the casualties on both sides began, and everything got out of control in the center of these lands. Triton became the epicenter of absolute chaos. The blue blood of the natives was spilled in great quantity. The Anunnaki are still today their great enemies, and that after years they reached an agreement to withdraw from their lands. Wow. Okay.
Hold on, easy. Let me see. What's up, Lord Progress? How you doing, buddy?
Yo, many praises, man. Many praises. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this right here is what's up.
Man, thanks, man.
Like,
Much gratitude. I appreciate that.
nah, but like, I was trying. Who wrote these books? That's what I had that question.
It's this guy from Spain,
His name is
but
Claudio Nocelli.
Oh, what's up, Easy? What's up? Many
Hi.
praises, Daddy. Yeah. Otalius Ocellus?
Uh, Claudio Nocelli. So
Oh, Claudio Nocelli.
yeah,
Yeah, and see that? Look, well, this right here, like we got all these so-called black millionaires. How come none of them don't get together and do this? Like
because
try
they're
to
not
leave the
allowed
ice
to.
wall.
because
They're not.
because
With
they made a
the treaty,
they made a
Yeah,
the
treaty
treaty,
yeah,
yeah,
they're
where
not allowed
nobody
to.
can go over there. The only person that broke the treaty so far is Russia. That's and you wondering why we going at Russia. The whole
ding,
But
world
ding,
going at
ding.
but they're also working for them. They have to earn their right of passage. Their money that they have, that they flash and do whatever they want to do, that's for their own living for them. You know, not they're not allowed to go build up their whole communities and do this. If they do, it's just for show because everybody's griping, whatever. You know, but they're controlled too. They're all
Exactly,
controlled.
yeah,
exactly. We got
yeah, them,
The Judas sheep.
yeah, them celebrities are like Freemasons that sweep after everybody are gone. They low levels. You see what I'm saying? And then you got the music producers and the film editors. Then you got the government, but there's people over. Then you got the black nobility, but there's people over the black nobility, which is the custodians and the Anunnaki. Like we being
I
controlled by people that ain't even people.
Yep.
Ding,
And
ding, ding.
I'm gonna share my video with you guys on the black nobility. It's kind of like controversial a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they don't call themselves black. Pretty sure of that.
Right.
I'm pretty
You know what
sure of
they call
that.
themselves? You know
What
what they call
noble?
themselves? Nope. Nubians. They are Sudanese. So the video that you see of the quote unquote black folks, the Pope kissing the black folks' foot, they are Sudanese. They are Nubians, or what you would call Cometics.
Exactly. We're all Nubians, but some of us we pick up that term,
Look,
we pick up that
go
label black
look.
because
All you
people
gotta
done
do is
sing and
look.
dance.
All you gotta do is go Google who's the president.
They cut
Who the
you out. What
president
you
of what?
say?
Oh, he about to drop some shit. He dropped some
Yep.
shit. They caught.
They about to drop that five,
Yo,
wasn't he?
yeah, they be on it, bro. They like, oh, you about to say what? No. Look at- Yo, I'll try to wait
Oh,
for
he
him
probably.
to come back. Man, listen, TikTok updated what yesterday or day before that, and I was blocked for like 4 hours for no reason.
Like,
What was you saying, brother?
Guys,
Somebody, somebody got an echo. Now unmute. See if we still have it. Unmute easy. See if we still have it.
it was probably
that
me because I
happens
had
when
took a
you
phone.
take a phone call, but you gotta
It was
just
probably me because
Uh, do me a favor, y'all three. Drop down. Come right back up. I got the screen open. Drop down. Come right back up. I got the screen open. Drop down. Come right back up. I got the screen open.
Okay, so that happens when you get a phone call, but if you're at home, all you have to do is put your phone on
they cleaned it
airplane mode
up.
really
They
quick
said they
and
cleaned
then
it up.
like let it connect to
I'm gonna
Wi-Fi
go
and
check.
it'll take off the echo.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Thanks for
Thanks for
that.
that.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I
thanks.
want to point out something because like y'all was reading it in one of the books before this chapter, how they talk about the humans who sell out the other humans so they can go live with them.
Yeah.
And like
Mm-hmm.
I be talking about those Judas sheep all day. Those type of people are like the boule. Those are the main reason why our people still claim the misnomer. Because they pay those
Bingo.
people to sing and dance and sprinkle their little spell on us. And a lot of us, we don't want to accept that we're being played.
The messed up
And
part
like
about
they,
it is people's natural talents being exploited in such foul way. You know, it's just messed up.
But yeah,
yeah. Oh my
it's crazy.
God. Like it's
You
crazy
can't
though.
have
Like
a beautiful
these
voice
people really
without
exist.
selling out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lord. My bad. Go ahead.
But no, brother. You was like exactly like what now? Exactly what you say. Like a lot of these people, man, they're afraid. Like me personally, I don't care because I don't. At the end of the day, anomalies happen. At the end of the day, I could get that one punch in and defeat whoever the fuck is doing all this bullshit to us. I don't like, but people they start doing things when they get afraid and they start putting their comfortability first. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
like,
will put their comfortability over your life without hesitation.
and the thing is, like, most of the people that sing and stuff like that nowadays can't even sing. Like, have you ever heard Adele without being mixed? Like a regular voice singing? Horrible. You ever heard Mariah Carey? She smokes cigarettes, so you know she can't sing. Have you ever heard her
Bro,
voice without
they call her
auto tune?
lipping. They called Mariah Carey lipping. She was lipping the Christmas special and they booed her ass.
Look, Post Malone too. Post Malone got a raspy voice, so when he hits certain notes, his voice starts like that. So most of these
hmm
people can't really sing. It's all genetically like
Engineering.
advanced.
They're doing sound engineering. It's
Yep.
all sound engineering. It's all fucking manipulation of your own vibration. That's why like you look at the words like enter me. Like for somebody to defeat you, they have to first enter into your vibrational. They have to enter into your field. And then but only you can give them that access. Only you could be like, oh my God, they're about to defeat me. And then that's when you just open up the gates.
Oh,
We as people we gotta have stronger. We gotta be stronger. We gotta hone our minds for us to be basically like I don't want to say unstoppable, but that's one way you have to feel about yourself.
fact. My only thing that I use as a distraction is I do watch sports because I've been a Chiefs fan for 20 years and them motherfuckers are finally good. I'm not about to stop right now, but I don't let the games affect me because I know Vegas got a hand in it, so I don't let the games affect me or
Oh
nothing like
yeah,
that.
that was one of them great Rome proverbs. Give them bread and circus, and they will not what? Revoke.
Hmm.
And that's why you have ESPN 24/7. We put our offsprings into they public school system. And then what happens? Sports. You wanna play basketball? You wanna go to the pet rally?
Hmm.
They man,
Uh,
they
but
distractions. That's all it is.
where, where do we leave off? Right here.
Yeah. No, yeah, about the silence. It was somewhere about the silence.
Did we already flip the page? Because I was cooking.
No. We didn't flip the page because I was looking at do the Neptunians travel to other lands. So I think we in the paragraph right above that.
Put it here. Boston take
Now
advantage of
down one, like
this
right
here.
there, I believe, right there.
All right.
Today the Neptunians live in peace. Yeah,
All right.
right there, right there. Because I didn't hear
All
that
right.
part.
All right. Today, the Neptunians live in peace with a high. Oh, thanks, Easy, for taking over and reading for me while I cooked. I appreciate that.
No problem. I appreciate you.
Um, so yeah, like I would go back in the book, but I want my people to go on and spend this little, $20 to go get this book, so to have it in our library. Like I say all the time, we spend $20 and we put $20 in a blunt. We could spend $20 to last a lifetime rather than $20 lasting 7 minutes.
Fact.
But it says today the Neptunians live in peace with a high development in technology that benefits their environment, their spiritual growth, and they are in peace with the neighboring lands and races. But according to the story, they prepare in silence for any new attack that could come from the nearby Anunnaki lands or other lands that could generate some danger for them. Do the Neptunians travel to other lands? As a question. It is said that they have traveled to other lands to investigate how other races live. to generate certain links and to be able to explore their environment. But it is said that they have not visited the known lands or spoken to any of the leaders. So the Neptunians have not had contact with us because we are the known lands. It says, although they do not know the land of Mars, although they do know the land of Mars and have been able to make contact with the human custodial colony located there. As I commented in previous paragraphs, the Neptunians are a race of dark blue color. They feed on local fruits, since based on their system, they cannot ingest a great variety of foods. They do not eat meat, and they have a certain friendly relationship with the custodians, although it is not well known why, since they are generally beings always for freedom and independence. Sarah says the rock of Las Lajas has no ink, no painting, no sculpture revealing Mary and Jesus' real image. It's located within the Columbia National Basilica. Download the rock of Las Lajas image from Google. Print large. Gaze upon Our Lady. Lead altar mother. I appreciate that, Sarah. I just screenshotted. I just screenshotted that, so I definitely get to that. But yeah, let me just show this quick map real quick. You see, it says
There's,
Titania, which is Titans. Go ahead, Easy.
I think one of the lands too is just like a big ass like production planet where they build like, stuff, but it's really really nice. It's supposed to be super upscale, but really they build like vehicles and all types of parts for travel and stuff like that. I don't know if you read that. I don't remember which one it was, but just throwing that out
I,
there in case anybody's interested.
yeah, I have one question because I haven't read these books at all. Is there any like of these domes bigger than ours? Are we like the biggest one, or are we like small in comparison to the rest of them?
On the maps, I don't know how anybody would really know that, but on the maps, on the book, you can see which ones are bigger than the others. Some of them are very small, some of them are huge. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think everything that have like an ice
What do they?
wall has its own dome, but I think overall, all the lands is under one big dome, and then each world have
Yeah,
their own dome too. That's how I feel. Could be wrong.
yeah. I'm fine. I kind of agree with what you just said. Okay, but what do they call our land? I see we got the land of Saturn. We wouldn't happen to be the land of Jupiter, right? We wouldn't be that.
We are the known lands. The known
The known
lands.
land.
Yes.
Yeah, but they
The
also have a
known
human
land.
colony in another land.
Yeah, let me see if I could go back to that real quick
It's
for
in the
you, Lord
clone
Progress.
colony. Look up the clone colony. The colony of clones.
It's in the land of Mars.
Yeah, they got a human colony and a colony of clone too. The clone
Okay, yeah.
lands.
I'm about to look right after this. But do you see that, Lord Progress?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
It's just crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, the Clone Lands is on chapter 16, Thoth.
Look where it says America too, and then Gran Tierra de los Desertores would be like the grand dirt or
The
grand
Grand Land
land
of Desert or Deserted.
of the
hmm
Mm-hmm.
of the
The
of the people from the desert.
that's a yeah.
The Torres would be people. The desert,
Okay,
would be desert. So
okay.
yeah, the grand land or dirt of the deserts or the desert people.
Mm-hmm.
Europe too.
Yeah, and then it says Tierra de los Órganos, which would mean organos would be like original, I guess, or organs. So land of the organs or the originals.
The
Land of the
lost
originals
original.
probably.
And you see it
Um,
says second earth, land of the clones.
Okay, I have a question. It's a little far fetched. Let's say if we somehow secured our freedom from the oppression of the corporations, do you think beings from these other lands are going to pull up on us and be like, "Bro, y'all can't be free"?
Yep, yep.
You
That's
say,
exactly
you
what's
say,
gonna happen.
yeah.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. The Anunnakis gonna go for that. The Anunnakis ain't. They like, hold on, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
It's like the
Man, them
Russian
niggas too
doll
funny,
thing.
man.
Like once you finally get to the last doll, it's another doll up under that
It's
doll.
another doll. It's not that doll, right? We got to go up the whole Mortal Kombat tower to get free. First, we got to beat ourselves. Then we got to beat the Anunnaki. Then we got to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how there's a group of them called the custodians. And that's literally what Freemasons are, though. That's what they're like janitors. They're custodians of the knowledge, of
Exactly.
so-called lost knowledge.
Exactly.
The universal laws come into play. You can't just, it comes to a point where you can't just be beating up on people anymore, you know? Those people get
Yeah.
stronger. You know, we got those older siblings that used to muscle us around, right? Get
But
beat
now,
up
you
now
know
that
what?
you're older. You know, it comes to a point.
Exactly, easy. But you know what? I have to go back. Like y'all said, see how y'all said it was somebody else will pull up and say y'all can't be free. But like you pay attention, like the ruling the so-called ruling party, they go by a set of rules. Like they always let us know what they're doing. They always give you the choice. They make it look like it's not a choice, but you have a choice.
So
So
that's when it comes to, that's what it talks about, universal law is how it comes into play, because they've been screwing up on,
exactly.
and not going by those laws. Okay, yeah, I can say I'm gonna steal your money. I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna do it, but I told you, so you should have been careful, right? But it's gone to a point where they've been like too reckless, and they just said screw universal laws. They've just been doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
And that doesn't work.
yeah.
They'll have to answer to that.
Karma.
Yeah, universal and international law are also, been infiltrated. So we can't even rely on universal and international law anymore, because them motherfuckers are money
Well,
hungry too.
Pablo say fireball's gonna fall out the sky. Listen, that start happening, I'm running towards the fireball. Get
If
it
I
over
see a
with.
fireball, it's probably coming from sideways, and that means that shit coming from outside lands. And be weary if that
I,
happens.
I feel
If
like I
somebody
feel
comes,
like universal laws still apply, because the way that I treat you guys, the way that I expect you guys to treat me, you know what I'm saying? Uh
Hmm.
I don't move like those people, you know? I don't move like
absolutely.
There's
those
always
beings.
that spirit. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like I say, it's always that spirituality. There's always like there's a higher self and there's a lower self. And then I believe personally that there's a grand higher self over all this shit. And then there's a grand lower self, and them two meet in the center. And there's a group of people trying to destroy that union of higher self and lower self. Especially over here, you see, they don't want us to have no balance whatsoever. Like they even do it in our food. Like you have snacks that have there's just too much seasoning, and then they sell that. Like
Here's
that's not going to affect your body.
a real brain twister is, like, you never know who's behind any of these books too. In a way, if you're not strong enough mentally, this
Mm.
could be fear basing you into feeling like they're just going to defeat all of us all the time, like, and there goes your
Ding ding
energy and your
ding.
power. There goes your power that you just fueled them up with, right?
Exactly.
And
It's all
and
part of the
Exactly.
matrix. It's all
But
part of
like,
the matrix.
oh my bad. Go ahead, folks. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's all part of the matrix. It's basically like a mind fuck. Like she just said, what if some of these books is put out to cause dissent and have you doubting yourself?
but
And
you gotta,
and
yeah,
and with that being said, she ain't never lied. She telling the truth. Some of this shit is put
exactly.
out there to have you doubt. But at the end of the
Hmm.
day, we ain't the only people that's, as you see if you read this book, all kind of people being colonized and enslaved. So we ain't the only people that's rooting for us.
See, when
Exactly.
when I read books like this and see that there's 178 different worlds of opportunity, it makes me feel like I'm bigger than who I am. I'm bigger than Bass Johnson. You know what I'm saying? From North Carolina, it makes me feel like I can accomplish way much more. Yes, I might have to like dodge the hijack here and there, but
Yeah,
easy said, I'm not letting these books like fear monger me because that's what the government does already. I want to take these books
Exactly.
as like
I
this
didn't had
people that's
enough of that.
powerful. There's people that's
But
powerful than the government.
exactly. But can I say something about fear? Like fear is nothing but misguided will. Like if you pay attention, fear is basically our fuel, and you're supposed to take that fuel and move forward with it. Like look at how cars react when fuel go into a wrong part. The car will explode. Now look at how people when people get the wrong person get the wrong type of fear, they'll explode on you. Fight or flight. Look how cars act again. Fuel can't get to the right place. The car seize up. Some people get so they'll seize up and they'll freeze on you. So at the end of the day, fear is nothing but misguided will. Either you can concentrate that
But
will
it's
and
the
push it and
easiest
move
way to
forward.
manipulate somebody though too.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
why
but
they're
if you know what it is, they can't manipulate it no more. Once you know that that's your will, that oh shit, I'm afraid. So matter of fact, why am I afraid? Should I really be afraid instead of just oh shit, I'm afraid, run away? Like that's what most people do. But
yeah,
when
you just
fear,
got to really apply that. We all have to really, really apply it because when when it's active, you know.
Yeah, but if no one has anything else to add, we can
yeah,
continue to
like but a
read.
lot of us we just get that fear and we run.
Yeah, if no one has anything else to add, we can continue to read for a little bit. I probably got
Let's
about
do
30
it.
more minutes.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
cool, cool. Land of
Never.
Uranus. You see, it says Titania, and like I said, this book is written in Spanish, so most of the stuff haven't been translated. So Titania is just Titan, pretty much. But the Uranians or Uranites are of a pinkish skin. The ton, the tunnel, the tonality of their eyes are completely dark. Although there are exceptions of completely white eyes that give the appearance of having visual difficulty, but the reality is that their sight is hyper developed, being able to see great distances and taking advantage of this as a great opportunity to be able to explore the lands. The first person I think about is albinos. They have not they have not achieved great technological development, nor are they advanced spiritual beings. They have long winters. For this reason, they are temper- For this reason, there are temperatures that become very low during almost the whole year, referring to the local year. 42 years in the known lands can be approximately a year and a half difference compared to the first ones. They are long-lived beings, although they are still today under the custodian domain, and their climate was totally modified, as well as their complete circle environment. Today, their lifespan has been shortened because they began to suffer from strange diseases due to the alterations and manipulations of their bodies in laboratories. The custodians penetrated their world when the Uranites were at an early age of their development. At first, the custodians had not been interested in them nor in the minerals of their world. But then everything changed when they discovered large quantities of an important mineral under their lands. What's that sound like? Come on now.
Avatar.
Sounds like the fallen.
Look, they used up all most of our minerals in America, so now where they went? Africa. Come on now. And who is using all these minerals? How can one person use billions and billions of tons of minerals? Somebody must be getting them shits. Let's see, large quantities of an important mineral under their lands. There are large excavations or craters on their surface. Their lands look as if they were torn by titanic hands. The reality is that this was caused by custodial machinery in the process of excavation. The locals worked there under great pressure and almost enslaved by parasitic colonizers. The little thereafter is strictly due to to this reason. The custodians do not want, under any circumstances, that these beings get to develop even moderately. The Uranites today are
Sickening.
grouped. It sounds like what they do to us. Like they only give us bits and pieces of
Yeah.
technology.
On some let our people go type shit.
Huh?
And
Let me throw you this
the
little bone. Let me give
pharaohs.
you this iPhone. Let me give you this iPhone so you don't think you behind the technology. Here's this Apple Watch. Here's these
Right.
AirPods, wireless headphones. Here you go. Here's your 75-inch TV. Here you go. You
Right.
see what I'm
And
saying?
it's material, and all of it is material.
Just crazy. It says the Uranites today are grouped only in the mainlands, their core called Titania. They are generally giant beings that can reach 4 to 5 meters in height or 16 feet. They have two very long arms and feed exclusively on vegetables that grow in these lands or around them. The other lands that surround the great walls of this enormous world are of similar climate to those of the lands of Neptune's. That's a nice one
That
right
sound
here.
like look who that whole chapter sound like. That sound like us. The whole chapter, like how they
Yep.
got to keep this world cold. To keep you feel me?
Yeah, it's like there's a little bit of us in each of these lands.
Yeah, that's what gravitated me to this book because I really resonated with the story of this whole colonization and man, I'm like, damn, we going through the same shit.
And this is what I'm interested in this chapter. Look at the color of the lands, right? But every other land didn't have that color. So are
Yeah,
we
and
about to
his
get to
name is Zeus too.
mm-hmm.
I sent you guys that video too, so this chapter is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'll check it out when I get off of here. Again, I'm gonna probably go to about like 7:30, maybe 7:45. I gotta run somewhere for a little bit. But yeah, appreciate the gifts, appreciate the likes, and appreciate for being here. Um, Thanks to the panel for dropping gems on us, and thanks for joining me on Bass Got
Thanks
Books.
for having me.
No problem, no problem. But yeah, I'll continue to read right here. But let me show the map real quick.
Before
See
look,
what
Bass, before you read though, keep in mind all the soils of these different lands match the people.
Mm, mm. And look, Europa.
That's like the second Europa, so maybe that's where some of the Europans are too, or settled. You know what I'm saying?
What if Queen Europa came from one of these lands? That's why she was named Queen Europa. Just something to ponder about.
Yeah, because all these names connect in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Peace, Ron. Peace, Abdullah. Thanks for joining me. Peace, HWP, Jay, Stevie, Ray, Willpower, Galaxy Queen, Miss Spankaho, Midnight Miss. Thank you all for joining me. But we just gonna continue to read. Probably do about one or two more chapters. Yeah, but yeah, this is the book Terra Infinita. And the crazy part about this book is Nos Confunden in Spanish, well, in English means they confused us. So that's what made me want to, get this book. They confused us. So yeah, what's up, True? Peace, True. But yeah, yeah, here we go. The lands of Jupiter. In this huge circular environment, we find several lands, and each of them has different ways of life. The natives of these lands identify with their birthlands and are clearly divided among themselves. There are being there being great wars in the past between different factions of the same race. They live in almost constant internal warfare. This is due to the influence of the Anunnaki when they invaded their lands in an early age. That sounds like us. We unalive in each other. We live on the
Sure.
same block, but we beef. Sounds like us too. You gonna say something easy?
No, I was just saying for sure. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, this book literally, if you close your eyes and you start and you change some of these names of these places to places over here and names of people over here, you swear this
Yeah.
book is about us.
hmm this is the vast majority and those who rule today are in the center or their core, called or known as the land of Zeus. According to the history that could be gathered from this interesting world, is that one of the high-ranking Anunnaki leaders lived or still lives in these lands, along with the leaders of the Jupiter lands. Both the Zeus-born and the Europeans, both the Zeus-born and Europeans currently rule and have other parts of the population. T, I'm gonna butcher these names, but I'm gonna try it anyways. But Tebe or Tebe, Castia, Alara, Amalthea, Ganymede, Callisto, Ursa, and Pandia in constant conflict with each other, using the division to be able to continue ruling and manipulating the rest of civilization.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like Toph said, you close your eyes and you be thinking they talking about us. At about 15 minutes to the full ready. Um, Special mention for Metis or Matisse. These lands are only used by the leaders, and no other being can enter without their permission. They are beings with great development in destructive weapons for attack and defense, and have almost no spiritual development. They are based on a hierarchical, hierarchical. That's a rough word. A hierarch pyramid instituted early by the Anunnaki. Pyramids are found almost everywhere in the lands of this world as a flag of clear control by this parasitic race. Contact with humans happened on the known Earth long ago, exactly 3 resets or reboots ago. They show clear hostility among, to almost all other races, even had several conflicts with the custodians. They studied the human being for a while, since they have large laboratories with great scientific advances for the modification and manipulation of beings. These beings are short of stature in comparison, uh, 1.5 meters tall. Wow, that's a meter is what, three
Yeah,
feet?
these like some pygmy people.
A meter is like 3 feet, so half of that, so 4.5 feet is half, and are known for their particular eyes and big head. They might be my people. They are carnivores and feed mostly on animals that are born in the surface of their lands.
Jeez.
Repeat that part about pyramids and parasites. I sure will, liquid engine hummingbird. Um, let's see. It says special mentions for Métis. These lands are used only by the leaders, and no other beings can enter it without their permissions. They are beings with great development in destructive weapons for attack and defense, and have almost no spiritual development. They are based on a hierarchical pyramid by the instituted early by the Anunnaki. Pyramids are found almost everywhere in these lands of this world as a flag of clear control by the parasitic race.
Mm.
Contact with humans happened on the known Earth long ago, exactly 3 resets or reboots ago. Come on now. We talk about the
That's
great floods and great resets.
disgusting. That is horrible.
Come on now. We talk about Tartaria and the great floods and the great resets. These alien races are talking about great resets and reboots. Come on now. Look at the correlation between that. I'm telling you, folks, here on Bass Got Books, we open up the minds of the youth and of the adults. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this is false. I'm just solely reading a book for research purposes only. Sorry, I'm making some rice. That shit is
It sound like it's stuck to the bottom of the pot.
stuck to the
That boy need a rice cooker.
it's stuck to the spoon.
Mm.
Nah, I'm Puerto Rican. We don't use no rice cookers. We make rice
I do.
ourselves.
I don't know how to make rice alone. I have to put it in the rice cooker.
I honestly been thinking about getting me one, but I don't like it when it's too mushy. Or let me see how long this chapter is. Maybe we could read it. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
probably
only
like
one
two
page.
pages. Okay,
Yeah,
bet.
yeah, we could read that. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go to about 7:45 and then end it. If y'all ain't get no problem with that, but Cassiopeia, I guess Cassiopeia, and Pegasus are the land masses. But look how much snow and shit they got, and look a little ice bridge. But all right, peace, Yusuf. Peace, Yusuf. The lands of Pegasus near near Jupiter and Hercules became a great headache for several races for a long time. The beings that were born there were identified by their wings, which they created basing their technology on exploration, not so much to the weapons that they could use for attack and defense, much less to colonize other lands. This played against them when they faced the custodians when they visited their circle environment. But surely their surprise was greater when they found out that these beings moved through the skies without great difficulty because of their great metallic wings that beat back and forth, almost dancing throughout the firmament of this beautiful world. Mm. Hey,
But the wings being metallic, though.
crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like some
And
comic
then,
book stuff or
well,
some
if you
Greek
think about
mythology.
it,
What was the dude who had the wings on his shoes in the Greek mythology? Nike or something like that?
oh, I don't fuck with Greek mythology.
Nomos had wings on his ankles. Namos, what was his name?
Hermes. Look at hummingbird said Hermes.
That's Icarus. That's the one that flew too close to the sun.
Ah,
Yeah, Icarus. I'm gonna screenshot that real quick. Seventh son. I never heard that name. Philip Schenker said Mercury had wings on its feet also. So
Mercury was the Roman version of Icarus.
when it said metallic, the first thing I thought about was like the metallic paint that they paint quote unquote space shuttles with.
mm-hmm.
That or like the military helicopters
Yeah.
or the military like fighter
You,
planes. That
I
metallic
thought
paint.
about I thought about the guy on the Marvel movie. What's the Anthony Anderson, whatever the dude name is, Anthony Mackie, the guy he play with the wings,
Falcon, the Falcon.
Falcon. I instantly started
Yes.
thinking about like it's a whole people that just got wings,
Yeah.
jetpacks and wings and shit.
Because remember, he didn't know how to fly with them fucking wings at first. Y'all, if y'all didn't already, go on and follow this page, Capri. Go on and follow Swarthy Gemini 042080. Go just go click on Thos the Gemini's page and go follow all five of his pages. Y'all go follow Easy's two or three pages. Uh, we
I
coming
like
to
that
y'all live.
too. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, bruh. When I say we literally are the new media, we literally are the new media. Most of us
Mhm.
wake up. First thing we do, we get on TikTok and see what's the new news for the day. We ain't depending on CNN or nobody like that to give us the news. CNN actually getting the news from us.
Yes, sir. But yeah, if no one has anything else to say, we'll finish this real quick. I got about like 15 more minutes. But yeah, everybody, thanks for joining me on Bass Got Books. You know, we're just reading out of the Nos Confunden series. Yeah, story told by the woman who was born behind the ice walls, Captain Morris's daughter. But yeah, we in here. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the shares, the gifts, and just for being here. Most of all. Um, it said it required no great effort to take these lands, and the Atlanteans. Hold on. Look at that word, Atlanteans, Atlanteans, Atlantis,
Right.
Atlanteans. Yeah, you take a bath. Let me see. You smell good. Not your booty. Booty. Appreciate that. Yeah, just ordered it. Yeah. If you got $40, they got all three books are going on sale for 45 bucks right now on Amazon. But yeah, it required no great effort to take these lands, and the Lantians, as they were called because of their great central lands, came to an agreement with the custodians that ended up harming them extensively. They lost much of the mineral wealth of their lands, as well as a share as well as share their technology advancement, and thus further help the custodians to advance their development to penetrate the celestial lands. The Lanteans realized too late in the real plans of their colonizers, and several revolts were generated that ended up in massacres of the winged ones. Some say that this race ceased to exist, and there are other versions that have been seen them. There are other versions that have even seen them in other lands, but they are confused with the beings called angels of the lands of the same name, since they are also close to the lands of Jupiter, and they also have large white wings. The Lanteans usually wear their long white hair with great development in alchemy and scientific advancement. They are not usually hostile to other races, but brought their race to the critical point of its disappearance when fighting against their oppressors. I'm gonna show a quick reference to another book that I have, and it's gonna, man, we building bridges over here. Yeah, Bass got books. I'm telling you, Bass got books. Long, what it say? It said, it says that ended massacres of the long winged ones. Some say that this race ceased to exist. There are other versions that have been seen with other lands, but they are confused with the beings called angels of the land of the same name. Los Angeles, you get it? Los Angeles are confused with the beings called angels of the lands of the same name. Los Angeles, Los Angels, the angels, since they are close to the lands of Jupiter, as they also have large white wings.
Bruh, and that explains why it's a whole Anunnaki statue in the middle of Hollywood. Like at the it I could put it up on the screen. Let me see.
Yeah, do that and listen to this. Look, a whole different being, large white wings.
The
Some
Anakim.
some people have claimed to encounter the Anakim in the west of North America, California, Los Angeles, LA, Alaska, Mexico, and Texas. Come on,
Mm.
folks. Bass got books. Bass gonna draw the dots for you.
You
Yeah.
see that picture I got up? That's in Hollywood on Hollywood Boulevard, in the middle of Hollywood. And one side is two different Anunnakis. You see, they both got the wings, right?
Yeah. And that little tree on that little tree thingy, whatever that is, that's depicted on some old ass hieroglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
That same everything.
This shit smack
It looks
that.
like
If
they
you pay
used.
attention, you can see the Hollywood sign right there up under that. You can see the
It
sign, the
kind of
famous
looks like.
Hollywood sign.
It kind of looks like a human
Yeah.
skeleton.
And I'm not even gonna lie, when you on Hollywood Boulevard, it's like a weird energy on there.
That's why I don't like LA, Toth. I can't I do not go to LA. I can't
I'm the
stand
same
LA.
way. I only go
I
there on
cannot
special
do it.
occasions and if I have to.
I don't. I don't even like driving through there. I can't. That energy is foul from way over here.
Yeah, the arch. Yeah, the arch. That arch portal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's.
Hollywood
that's
might be fun for you, but I'm not one of those people that enjoy that. I know what it is.
See, you can usually tell like the people that's usually obsessed with like celebrities and all this high
Yeah,
dollar fashion and stuff like that. They pretty much gonna say the ones that gonna be the ones that it's fun, but those lives there. Easy lives there. They're telling you some good shit now.
yeah, for sure.
It might be fun, but do you get a bad feeling? Like when you drive into a certain town, do you get like a skin
Distractions
crawl
are
or like
supposed to be fun. But yeah, it's like that. It's like, man, it's like, oof, I don't like it.
yeah, yeah, I'm about to, have a little bit of dialogue for a couple of minutes, and
Well,
um,
I won't hold you. I will head out. I know you said by 45. It's only
Oh yeah,
4:30,
shit. If you want to
4:40
drop
over
down, go ahead,
here.
fam.
Yeah, 'cause you know we're on
We,
different time.
yeah, we'll link back up later on.
I got 6 to 10 minutes. I'm waiting for this rice to finish cooking. I got about 6 minutes. We can keep some dialogue and stuff.
Right.
Peace, Lord, Hannah. Like WeHo, what's WeHo?
West
Y'all
Hollywood,
LA folks.
West
See, like
Hollywood.
WeHo is super sketchy.
Yeah,
That's what we saying,
West
sister.
Hollywood is definitely super sketchy. That's where you have all the trans people, the trans amers, the trans whatever the fuck they call them. I don't even know what to call them.
The Chevy transmissions.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So you already know what type of shit going on over there.
So
confusion.
where is the place? It's in like over there. It's in like LA, but it's like mostly like warehouses, but it's like warehouses that's on like an airport strip.
Oh, that's
Is
Burbank.
that
That's Burbank. That's where they shoot
Burbank?
a lot of TV shows. Like what's that shit? Everybody grandma like watching Price is Right, all that type shit, and Wheel of Fortune, all that shit gets shot in Burbank.
Yeah, I seen some shit. I seen some shit talking about that.
Yeah, Burbank, they got like whole movie studios you can rent. They got like all kind of stuff. And now we in the social media era to where it's like big time social media artists. They renting whole studios out to do 1 30-second video. And then I look at it like, who the fuck is funding that for 1 30-second video?
Yeah, I got hit to this Hollywood shit and like all this TikTok houses because do y'all remember David Dobrik? He was the first one who really got famous for doing these little skits and shit like that and giving people cars and stuff. Y'all ever seen him before?
Nah, only dude I know of like that is Mr. Beast, and I know he was faking the whole. He been faking the whole time.
Well, this dude David Dobrik, he's from Vine. He's been doing this since Vine times, and he used to have where like low level celebrities. He used to invite them into his Tesla, and they'll have like some like prank shit going on, right? And I can't find this video. I've looked for months, but there was one video, and it was Blueface with no tattoos, with like this longish kind of hair, and he was sounding like a little goth dude. And then 2 years later, it was like bust down, Bustiano, whatever like that. And I was like, yo, This motherfucker trying to say he's a crip and shit, but he was just on, this dude's Vine, like a little like dweeb type of person.
Facts. And that's just like what's the other dude? 6ix9ine. If you watch his court case and he literally tells you how he got on. He said he was working at a grocery store and a YT dude asked him, like, he was like, "Hey, you want to be a rapper? Who come on now. Who gets asked do they want to be a rapper and you just working at a grocery store and then they give you a whole rap career? Whole government agent. That's COINTELPRO.
Shit crazy. Like and I hate this, and a lot of people are gonna hate me, but Tupac's name is not Tupac Shakur, and it's not Amaru Shakur either. His
Facts.
name is like
Facts.
LaShawn. His name is
LaShane Crooks.
LaShawn or
His
some
name is
shit.
LaShane Crooks.
Yeah, this kid in middle school and high school went to an acting school in Baltimore, Maryland. And
Mm-hmm.
people used to say he was such the sweetest little boy and used to talk with his hands and had such a soft voice.
Yeah,
And
if
there's
you watch them
videos that you can
Tupac
find him in
videos before
acting
he was
class,
famous, he was down there on some effeminate shit.
how he was talking about he don't like when people call women bitches and stuff like that. He was sounding real soft voice acting. And then when he gets to movies and his songs, he's talking about bitch this, bitch that. Come on now. But yeah, Tupac's name is not Amaru. It's not Tupac. It's not Shakur. His name is LaShawn Brooks.
He was saying why
LaShane
he
Crooks.
started calling women bitches on that special. He said it's because like when he was being himself, the girls didn't like it, so he started to do what like all the other dudes did, and then the girls started flocking to him. It's on
Sound like a
Hulu.
sellout,
It's
don't
called
it?
Dear Mama.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, remember
He got
he
a
was
little
saying that?
documentary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sound like he'll do anything for some pussy. If you do anything for
Mm-hmm.
some pussy, you do
Anything for
anything for some
fame.
money.
He look that famous picture with Tupac is in the bathtub and he got all the jewelry on, and it's like he
Yep.
butt naked with a whole bunch of jewelry around him. That means he's selling his body for fame, selling his body for money and fame. That's a
And
symbolism picture.
the
all of the
reason
bathtub stuff is a weird type of ritual thing, like the
mhm.
bathtub or the blood in the bathtub or the water in the
Mm-hmm.
bathtub, all that.
It's like they still wanna depict you as gangster because you got all this jewelry and money, but at the end of the day, you naked in front of 100 other men in the bathtub. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
it's 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 an undertone to that shit.
Yeah. Exactly. People don't think about that part.
You ever wonder why all these rappers got like a super amount of tattoos, their face tattooed and everything? Because their butthole was played with, and the only way to make them feel masculine is to look
Mm-hmm.
masculine, is to get
That's why
tattoos.
they look. That's why they wear the sunglasses all day long. It don't matter what time of day it is. They got on sunglasses because they can't. They don't
Look,
want you to look in their eyes and see they soulless.
y'all might think Orlando Brown is stupid or crazy, but I believe he sound
I
crazy
do.
because he's powerful enough to break off the medication that they feed him. But he's telling you some real shit. He's been through it. Yeah, he's been through it since the age of 8, 9 years old. 4 years,
Right. Yeah,
4 years
before
old,
that,
because he was
yeah,
the little kid on Friday when Big Worm pulled up. It was
And
Megan
Major
Good that
Pain.
was a little kid,
yeah,
and Major
and
Payne.
major.
Yes,
He was in
ma'am.
major pain. But yeah, people
Yes,
be
ma'am.
thinking Orlando Brown tripping. He dropping nothing but truth. Nothing but truth. How he talking about these people was playing different roles. Okay, y'all think Kobe Bryant dead?
That motherfucker looked awfully a lot like Miles Garrett when he
That
came
boy
to
Exactly.
at
being
the
from the Browns.
And then it's a young girl look like his daughter now just popped out, and she supposed to be like the best kid in high school or some shit, best girl basketball player in high school right now. She looked just like his daughter. I'm like, okay, we not
Man,
stupid.
you wanna know whose son is gonna be the best player in high school basketball, bro? Gilbert Arenas' son. His name is like Ezra or Elijah or something like that. Elijah
Yeah, I
Arenas.
seen him. I seen him.
Yo, as a freshman, he's dropping 35, 5, and 5 as a freshman. I'm sorry about that. I love sports, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. What you think? What you think about how they pumping up LeBron James' son?
LeBron got a big ass boule tattoo on his chest. That's all I want to say.
Oh yeah, that's that Freemason Griffin, ain't it? That Boule Griffin,
Yes,
ain't it?
sir. Yes, sir. So you already know.
How
You
he get
already know.
look?
Like
How he get that tattoo and he never went to college? How he get into Boule? He never went to college. Don't you got to
exactly,
go to
man.
college to be in a fraternal order?
That gatekeepers, the fraternities and sororities,
Like who
and
put him on? If he didn't
do
go to
you
college,
do you wonder why these people are so like are so proud of all this Sigma Phi stuff like that? Because believe it or not, your local police got a list of names not to pull over. So whenever you see like a Freemason symbol or a Shriner symbol or a fraternity and sorority symbol, just know it's highly likely they're not gonna get pulled over because they be in the same Masonic temples as the cops and stuff like that. They all friends and they gatekeepers.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, if anybody else gonna go live, I gotta hop off there.
Yeah, I probably hop on live a little bit
All
later.
right, well, take it easy. I'm gonna chill for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, I'll probably
Hey
hop
yo,
on a little bit later. I'll probably do a live later. I'm gonna let my phone charge and shit.
yeah, do that.
Okay,
Send me the
okay.
invite.
All right, for sure.
All
Thanks
right,
Easy
later,
for coming
guys.
up here reading for
Thank
me.
you.
Peace,
That was
family.
super
Peace,
clutch.
Bye.
peace. Peace, everybody in the
Thanks,
chat.
y'all.
One love.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for Easy for reading for me. You know, while I was cooking and taking care of the baby. Thanks for Thoth for reading for me and adding gems because if you don't know, Thoth got them books too. Thoth got them books. He be holding out. He be holding out on us, but he owned his own business, so sometimes he can't really get pass on this information. So yeah, go follow Easy's pages. Go follow Thoth. Thoth got a couple of pages, so yeah, go follow them. And as always, thank you for the likes, the shares, the gifts, and most of all, thank you for the time. And thanks for joining me, on another episode of Bass Got Books. Don't miss the episode because you're gonna miss the next chapter, the next chapters. And when we finish with this book, we're gonna hop on over to this one. So if you miss one, you're gonna have to buy the book. So make sure you tune in to Bass Got Books. Peace, everybody. Much love.